and years and years ago, and he's like, as he was reading it, he was saying, "Oh, there's a great role for you in this. There's a great role for you in this." And so I read the novel, and it's an extraordinary piece of work.
It's Jimmy.
Essie, you can get a breather if you want to. I know you're jumping in from one interview to another.
I've just got a frog in my throat, so I'm hopefully not going to.
How are you doing? How are you holding up in all this that's going on?
I'm all right. It's a very strange world. It's a very peculiar world, and I feel very lucky that we are where we are in Tasmania at the moment, but it still feels frightening. Where are you?
I'm in Chicago. I live in LA, but I'm currently spending it locked down with family in Chicago, where I'm from. So here it's pretty rough around here. I mean, there's tons of cases every day and just very limiting in that aspect. I'm guessing it's a little bit probably lesser because of the population and stuff where you're at in Australia.
Oh, definitely. We are. We're in probably one of the safest places we could be. Yet there's still cases and there's still fear, you know.
Of course.
But again, lockdown with family. I'm glad that we're all together.
Absolutely. Any sort of activities you've been doing to just? I know the industry's kind of shut down currently, and nothing's really going on. But anything you've developed, any hobbies or any interest during this time to kind of keep you going throughout?
I have got so much going on. I'm too busy. Parenting, homeschooling, and because we're finally home after being on the road, it seems, for years, making films all around the world, it feels like it's the first time we've been able to be home together. And so there is the massive spring clean happening. So it's just, I feel like I've been cleaning for a month and a half. So.
At least it'll be spotless, right?
In fact, I know I have. Oh, no, it's nothing to do with that. It's decluttering.
I'll take some tips. Wanted to jump in about the film. Definitely, how much aware were you of the novel and the story dating back before this project? Or did you read it when you kind of were made aware of the project? What's your knowledge of the story and the novel beforehand, in a sense?
Well, I've always been aware of Peter Carey as a great novelist, a great Australian novelist, and Justin was actually approached about the novel years and years and years ago, and he's like, as he was reading it, he was saying, "Oh, there's a great role for you in this. There's a great role for you in this." And so I read the novel, and it's an extraordinary piece of work in many ways. But and then as Justin developed it, he was always talking to me about Ellen. And what he wanted that relationship to be, and how he saw her, which is quite different to the way I saw her when I was reading the novel. And yet Peter Carey saw the film in New York, and he just was blown away that it was his favourite film that's ever been made of any of his work. Wow. And that it completely captures the spirit of the novel, which is a relief and a blessing, that and a great tribute to Justin for understanding that kind of essential and brutal and kind of punk spirit of this story. So I've been attached to it and I guess pondering and growing Ellen for quite a long time before we made it. And then Justin has this amazing ability as a director and a great way of working, and he has this, he gives each actor a manifesto of what they need to do in order to prepare for the role, what they need to watch and listen to and experience, and tap into and try on and taste, and what body shapes and what he wants them to be, and what endurance, it's like a massive history lesson in art and culture and sport and music and the history of oppression and it's a huge and fantastic document to base your research on, and I think that each of us did that with, and one of those things that the gang had to do was form a band and write a set and perform a live gig at a music venue in Melbourne.
Wow.
A punk gig before we started shooting. So he's like, pick up some instruments, get writing, you're on in 3 weeks, we're booking you in. What's your name? What's your band's name? Okay. Right, and then they wrote a fake history for that band and put it in a gig guide. 3 weeks later, before we started shooting, the boys were on. They put on their dresses and charcoaled up their faces and did their set of 8 incredible punk songs with Ben Corbett, who is a punk musician himself, who plays Red Kelly, and myself dancing in Ben's kind of punk performance, jiu-jitsu, self-flagellating, dancing in the middle of this writhing crowd of punters who'd just come along to see a gig, and it was extraordinary. So bonding and empowering, and suddenly the gang were untouchable.
Unbelievable. I mean, that's just like living out vicariously, through the characters without it. Wow, that's something, that's quite the story there. But I'm sure it could only bond you when you're kind of getting together and doing living out a real moment, but being wow, that's something.
Oh, yeah. And 2 of the songs ended up in the film, and they are extraordinary. And even though they were called nothing to do with the film whatsoever, the songs they wrote sort of came from some experience that their character or was worried about or was thinking about, or it's quite and they've recorded an album. Well, brilliant.
That's unbelievable. You guys got side gigs out of this project, or literally. Wanted to ask you about this. I mean, that gives me some good insight about this cast. But I mean, you had so many talented performers in it. You had George, up-and-coming talents. You had Nicholas Hoult. I mean, you talk about Russell Crowe. That movie's loaded with so many talented actors all around. Tell me, what was it like for you to gain this kind of experience working with talent all across the boards, all sorts of experience levels in a sense, and tell me what you gained out of it with this cast in a sense, especially since it's a big, predominant Australian and English cast.
Well, the cast were extraordinary, and it is kind of an epic film. It has so many characters in it, and so although and Charlie Hunnam and Nicholas Hoult, even Marlon Williams, an amazing singer, came in to play George King, my fiance. Like every few days, someone new would arrive, but be completely immersed in this world that was the world of the gang. All of the kids who played my children, and then all of the young beings who they grew up to be, and because we had this amazing bond, and George and I had been bushwalking together. He came and lived with us, and was spending a lot of time in each other's company. And we were also on location, and so people would come, and Justin would host a big dinner party, and the producer Hal Vogel, who was also an extraordinary supportive producer, he was there with his family, and all of the families were kind of together and in it in some way or other. And
Wow.
and it was such a welcoming and immersive place to be, and because we had to do such brave and brutal things to one another almost upon meeting. I mean, I was on my knees in front of Charlie on his first day. Nicholas and I were rehearsing a rape on his first day, and then we had to get to know each other really quick and really deeply, and every single crew member who were on the ground and and all of the cast, it felt like a place of such privilege to be, and such a connected and bonded group of people that were all coming together to make something great. And I can't tell you how profoundly that felt, how profound that felt for all of us who were there together. It was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful experience, even though it was brutal and freezing and hard and endurance.
Right.
Mega endurance. It was. I've never worked on anything that had more special connection between people.
Wow, that seems like, from what you've said, from the band that you guys formed and these relations and friendship, that's a movie that really stays with you after it's done. I can only imagine you made a lot of friendships with this going forward and probably taken away some invaluable things.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I can't wait. I would work with every single one of them again in that drop of a hat.
Fantastic.
Extraordinary bunch of talented people.
Now that we're in these kind of crazy times, have you thought about how this industry, I kind of wanted to get your perspective as an actor who's been around the industry for a while, what things might change going forward? I mean, what kind of you foresee? Are you prepared for a new way maybe of filmmaking and just even acting in a sense? Have you just kind of thought about during this time what might await you and what sort of projects we might be even making and developing going forward?
Well, it's a very strange and scary time. I honestly don't know what will happen to our industry, except I do know that maybe things can still be developed and are being developed. And I think it's that often things get rushed in development and scripts are set to go before they're ready. Mm-hmm. And I hope that this will not only develop probably some of the most well-developed, well-rounded, thoroughly thought-out scripts and stories, that we will have perhaps an incredibly creative bounty moving forward. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know if smaller independent films, from a homegrown kind of place will emerge as the new wave. Mm-hmm. Or I know Kay just made a film in New Zealand not that long ago called The Justice of Bunny King, which is still probably in post-production and sadly can't go to any festivals this year. But I know, and the crew who worked on that were also extraordinary, but I know that people were being poached all the time to work on all of these massive projects that were being filmed in New Zealand by heaps of international companies, and I wonder whether that will happen anymore, or whether people will be employed much more in their own countries and environments, or whether those really big projects, whether they will be made in international waters or stay in their source country. I really don't know. I don't know what will happen. What do you think will happen?
I think it's day by day, and I think things are never going to be the same probably, but I think we'll adjust to it in some way, and there's going to be a new normal. So life needs to go on, and so does the industry. So.
And there's always the show must go on, and people will never stop creating. In fact, the more kind of frustrated creatives get, or the more limits put on creativity, quite often the more incredible the response and creative the outcome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Essie. Thank you for taking the time, and then definitely stay well and stay safe and stay healthy throughout this time. Looking forward to your next work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.